Your Excellency, Abtut Secretary of State, Secretary, I don't know, of State also, and Your Excellency, Mr. Rector of this university, Your Excellency, Professor Sansover, dear guests and students, and also all the staff who helped to build this opportunity to this event. This is a welcome to this celebration of the signing act of the foundation. Many of you here in this beautiful theater might know me, but some of you probably don't. So I guess you would like to know who is the photographer and who gave this to the RUFA, this collection. Well, I have had a lot of experience in my life, indeed, but it would be too long to tell you all about that. So let me tell you about the 4 important moments in my life. I call them the milestones. The first milestone, you won't believe it, was my birth. If that had went wrong, I wouldn't have met you today. Why? I was born in April 1945, and you might know just a few days after the end of World War II. Those were traumatic times in Germany. American fighting soldiers were in my hometown Bingen at the River Rhine. The worst thing was that there were almost nothing to eat anymore, especially not for a newborn baby, and my mother couldn't breastfeed me. So my sisters much later told me that little body, me, I had already turned completely into blue color because of starvation. My 2 youngest sisters got all their courage together, went to the soldiers, the fighting soldiers, and begged them for powdered milk. Successfully. That saved my life. Maybe that's why I still feel close to the Americans, even now at Trump time. That baby grew up to become a young man who at school was already interested in physics and chemistry. After graduation, I got a job at nearby pharmaceutical company. Later, I went to Johannes Gutenberg University in Mainz. In the lectures of the director by my Institute of Biochemistry. Here, the name of Professor Otto Warburg and his eminent research at the Max Planck Institute for Cell Physiology in Berlin came up again and again. That made me think. Because I had always wanted to go to Berlin. So I thought I would apply for a job there. It was done quickly. I was invited to an interview. Then, on the plane to Berlin, I felt very nervous to meet this famous scientist. But as people know me, they'll understand I had to do it. The interview with this 2-time Nobel Prize winner went very well. I was hired as his youngest personal research assistant. Working with one of the most important scientists of that time was challenging and had a big effect on my the rest of my life. This was the second milestone in my life. But as often in this case, life goes on. You have new ideas. I wanted to move away from basic research and back to pharmacy. So consequently, I studied pharmacy in Berlin. I wanted to work as a clinical pharmacist, not in a public pharmacy. I was able to get successfully in my job in a big hospital. I became the head pharmacist of a hospital department. And there I was able to make it bigger and come up with lots of innovations. That was my third milestone. Now, it was just before I retired. A friend of mine from Cambodia who lived in Berlin in 1995 wanted to go back to his country after the Khmer Rouge. I thought that was very brave, because in parts of the country was still a fighting. When he left to Cambodia on the airplane and on the airport, he invited me and my partner to visit him in his homeland. That was not an option for me at all. I don't like hot, humid climate. I don't like mines. I don't like mosquitoes. And I certainly don't like malaria. And by the way, it's 14,000 kilometers away from Germany. But I hadn't thought about my partner Hans. Step by step, he finally convinced me to go on the trip to Cambodia with him. Since you have been listening attentively, you know that was the fourth milestone. After the first trip in 1996, I had caught the Cambodian virus, as I always call it. Today, in 2026, it has been 30 years of Cambodia. I am standing in the new RUFA and presenting the new university and its students this document from one of the most important dancers, choreographers, and singers, Devanad Em Theay. In my book about Em Theay, a century artist, and I mean that, my first sentence is, I love this lady, and I mean that. Even though grandmother Em Theay is an important part of my photographs, she is only a small part of my photography work. There are uncountable photographs from all parts of life, art and culture, everyday life, the landscape, nature, and the people I like so much. I created many books about Cambodia and also other subjects, but the RMK, the Cambodian Ramayana, I think belongs to the most so far. Even His Majesty the King praised it in a personal letter to me. Nevertheless, I also spent a lot in Cambodia helping people in need. I really cannot tell how many pupils and university students we helped to study in 30 years. Most of them did well. Some of them have been highly successful. I also started a social business a few years ago for a friend. See, I didn't say so much about this humanitarian aid before, but I think it can be done eventually on a day like this. Thank you very much for your patience. I just have to add one more thing. First of all, I'd like to thank the dancers, the teacher, the staff of Your Excellency, the rector, very much. They did a very good job. One thing more to add. This wonderful event, which I owe to the generosity of Her Excellency Madam Minister Sakuna, also marks an almost official farewell to Cambodia. I'm closing my photo archive, and anyone who is interested is welcome to come and take a look. Thank you very much and enjoy the exhibition.